and I'll hand it over to you, Mike.
All right. Sounds good. Can I close this poll out, Emily?
Yes, should be done.
And then I don't know how we close this out. Okay. All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is our last of our virtual open house. We look forward to the day when we can do an in-person open house. We hope to next year. This past month, it's October now, but this past month was our 3rd year anniversary of the biological station being open in Cedar Key, and we're going to do a quick tour and just kind of show you what we've developed and then what we have planned. And I think the facility is a resource for researchers and agency cooperators to use, and also it's going to be a resource for the public, and you'll see what we have in plans for that in just a bit. So appreciate everyone that participated today. So this is the front of our building, and right at the end of State Road 24 in Cedar Key. If you come into Cedar Key and you do not turn, you will go straight into the parking lot of our building. If it's late at night and you've had too much to drink, we had a case where someone did just that and almost went into the ocean through our parking lot recently. So you can't miss us if you don't turn coming into Cedar Key. I'll just show you the building. There's 3 floors of this facility, and the ground floor that you see in front of you is all meant to be a flood friendly area. We had almost 5 feet of water here during Hurricane Hermine 4 years ago. It was before the building was constructed. We had 2 feet of water in Hurricane Michael, which didn't cause any real damage in Cedar Key, but we did get a surge event. The air-conditioned space of the 2 floors above, the bottom one of those is our office space, which you'll see, and then the top floor, I'll show you the plans for that. So we'll go through these quickly and have a chance for any questions, and go from there. Part of what we have wanted to do from the start of the biological station was to develop an area for public education, and I want to thank Emily for putting this presentation together and taking the pictures of the facility. And Raymond Rawls Design was the company that we worked with. They're local in Gainesville. They did a lot of work for the Florida Museum of Natural History, and they have helped us with developing and building the education and aquarium area in the 1st floor of the building. During normal times, we have this open on Friday afternoons and during any kind of festival events, and also some weekend days. And we look forward to doing that again. Right now it's not open to the public, but it will be in the future. And it's really to celebrate the natural area that is the Nature Coast, and to educate people about the science that's ongoing in the region by the University of Florida and by our agency cooperators. The flagship of this is the aquarium is a big attraction. You can see there the copper colored fish are red drum, Cynops ocellatus. Those are in the drum family and a very popular sport fish. Also, the fish at the top is a cobia, and then in the middle there we have a snook with the black line along it. Snook are expanding in our region, and we have a nice specimen of snook in the aquarium there. These fish have been in there for a couple years now, and they're doing great. And we feed them shrimp, frozen shrimp and herring, and they're really doing well. The snook is growing rapidly, as is the cobia, both growing really fast. But the flagship of this area, and really I want to shout out to the Swanee River Water Management District. Darlene, I see you on here. This is our 2nd Zoom meeting today together. But this board of the Swanee Valley was funded by the Swanee River Water Management District, and it really, I think, sets the context for the biological station and for the work in our region, because it shows the whole Swanee River watershed, and it lets the public understand that the estuary and the area that is Cedar Key extends well up into Georgia, and that land use patterns and how we manage the farms and urban development in the entire basin is really going to influence the estuary. And understanding those impacts is our highest priority as part of the biological station. So this wall is a really nice educational tool that when people first walk into the station, they can get a sense of the entire basin and where they are and why things like water use and fertilizer use and those kind of things are important for understanding impacts to an estuary and ultimately for best management practices. This is a touch tank over on the right. And when we have festival events, we put some critters in there and allow the public to come, and kids can come and see animals and invertebrates and that kind of thing. So it's really a nice showpiece that we like, because unlike a lot of biological stations, our biological station is right downtown. We're in the historic district of Cedar Key. We're right in the middle of town. And so there's a lot of visitors and there's a lot of opportunity for public outreach, which is one of the big missions of the University of Florida, which is extension and educating the public about science. So it's definitely consistent with our mission. One of the big projects that we've been working on over the past couple of years is the development of a wet lab facility. And this is on the water side of the building. I'll just go and show this picture. It's on the front side here from the water. This is a view from the dock of the water, and you can see behind the louvers there where that door is where this wet lab facility is. I'll go back to it. And we obtained a grant from the National Science Foundation to help us outfit this lab, which has been a huge bonus to the station because we've been able to really do this right with 2 water sources. We've got ambient seawater that we can pump from the dock. And we have now a saltwater well that we can pump water from the ground that comes in at a constant salinity. And we're working on treating that water for hydrogen sulfide, and just naturally has high sulfide and high iron in it. But we're going to get that handled where it's a clean source of constant salinity seawater. This is meant to be a modular lab that we can break down. And if a storm comes, we need to pick this stuff up and move a lot of it. You can see that's why the water lines and everything are elevated. So they're out of the way, and that they're also not at risk if there's a flood event. And we've been working hard on this, and the main folks that have worked on this is Leslie Sturmer. She and her crew, Reggie, Markham, and Natalie, have just done a fantastic job of working on this lab and helping us get this developed. John Supan, also from LSU, we contracted him. He's done a lot of lab design and work in shellfish aquaculture, and he helped us develop this as well. Right now, what's going on down there is we've got some seagrass experiments going on out of Laura Reynolds' lab in the Soil and Water Sciences Department. Her graduate student, Jamila, is working down there on these seagrass, and that's in those black tanks. So we've got that work going on, and you can see the LED lights and air hoses, and it looks quite complicated, but it's actually a very simple system that we can bring in seawater and do experiments down there. So that's been a big bonus. And this shows the lab from another angle, where there's seawater and aeration and all that gives us the capability. And when the seagrass experiment's done, if we want to do some fish experiments, we can break these tanks down and set up the lab for a different use. So that's been really good. This is in the second floor, where the first floor of air conditioned space, and it's got just a open area with some carrels that we can use. Historic photos of the Cedar Key area in there as decorations. This is our conference room table, which was actually built with some heart pine timber that was donated by Jerry and Bob Treat. This wood from this table came from a house here in Cedar Key that had burned, and the wood was milled by Rod Hunt and Mark Clark, and then Rod built the conference table, which is a great showpiece and a good spot for us to have meetings and stuff. And it's got the full connectivity, which is great. And then we've got our office space: Savannah, Charlie, Emily Colson, Cassandra Key, and my office on this side of the building. And so just typical office space, but a nice facility, and we're working to keep it looking nice. So that's the second floor. And then this wide open space is the top floor of the NCBS building. And this is one of the things I really wanted to mention to the group, is that we are about to start construction up there to finish this floor. And when we first built the building, it was clear right away that if we only stopped at the second floor, there would be no additional space for any kind of expansion or any kind of public meetings. And so when they built the building 3 years ago, they built the shell here. So this is all closed in, dried in with windows and everything, but it's completely unfinished. And we're about to start that. And this floor is going to have a 50-person classroom on the south end of the building through those doors that you see there, open up to a balcony looking to the south, right out over the quays. And then back where the camera is now will be 3 more offices and some more shared space. So we're super excited about what this means for gatherings of scientists and the public in this area. And it's also going to be a resource that the public can reserve this for science type meetings and educational uses. The funding for this and part of the aquarium came from Levy County. We've been partnering with Levy County to work a federal grant through Levy County. It's the Restore program, which is some of the Deepwater Horizon oil spill settlement, to help us finish this floor. And they gave about half the money to do this. So it'll be a 50-person classroom, a kitchenette, and this will be available for renting out. And it's going to be spectacular because it's way up high and on the Gulf and right on the water with a balcony overlooking the Gulf. So it's a great spot, and it's going to be good. And so that's going to start next week, right around the 1st of October. And then it will take probably 5 to 6 months, and they'll be done, and we'll have the facility done for all the main building, which is great. And that's a view from the porch outside on the 3rd floor. You can see some reef balls there that Savannah's group has been working with. Those are for demonstration, but she's using them in real life for the Living Shoreline, which was one of our previous open house events. And you can see the dock there with boat lifts and that kind of thing, and Asina Odie Key out front. And so anyway, that's our facility as it is now, and that's our future plans in the short term. Some of the other issues that we see that we're trying to do is really secure some overnight stay for graduate students, faculty at UF, and visiting faculty. And we're working with our development office to look at how we can raise money to maybe purchase some condos or some kind of way that we can get some overnight stay when we have guests and graduate students working in the area. And that's going to be a continued priority for us in the station from a space perspective. But so far so good. You know, we've got a really good team that has all worked hard to keep this facility looking nice and make it functional for science in the region. And we look forward to that. So I'll open it up for questions. I know this isn't as riveting as a science talk to learn about data collection, but it is important to think about what the facility is going to be and what it means for the community. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And we really appreciate everyone for participating in these virtual open house events. Any questions? Oh yeah, and Savannah just mentioned something to me on a chat, which I appreciate. Don't actually have a picture of it, although we're going to do a full event. We are setting up a pavilion on the front where there was a previous pavilion there, but we're going to build a new pavilion as part of this same construction that is going to be named in honor of Pace Taylor. Pace was the son of Jen and Todd Taylor, and they are heavily involved in our fundraising events and our development committee. Pace tragically passed away just over 2 years ago, and as a young man, aged 21, I believe. And we're going to rebuild that pavilion and name it in honor of Pace. And Pace loved Cedar Key, and he was an avid angler, and their family used this area for vacations. They live in Tallahassee. And they've been heavily involved with us at the station, and we're really looking forward to that. And the Board of Governors just approved us to officially name the pavilion after him. So that will be a separate event, probably in March, that we will have the naming event and honor him properly at that event. So thank you, Savannah. And any other questions or discussion?
And again, anyone can chat their questions or use the video. Just unmute your microphone.
Real quick, another thing people might be interested in, Mike, are some of the changes over at Seahorse Key.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too. And I didn't bring pictures of that in here, but we've done several things over there. One of the big things is we partnered with Solar Stick Corporation in the past year, and we actually have built a battery backup system with their help that allows us to have electricity all the time at Seahorse Key. And the battery backup system fully operates the island. And then the propane generator, which historically was used for all electricity out there, now it just kicks on to charge the batteries. And that actually has reduced our propane use out at the island by about 60%, we think. The jury's still out because it hadn't been the island hadn't been used a lot since the COVID, but it's definitely going to improve the efficiency of the situation out there with electric power, and also give us 24-hour power out there, so that if we want to set experiments up, we can do that and not have to run the generator. We've also done some painting and renovations to the lighthouse out there. There's 26 bunks out there, and that is a facility that is available for renting out for classes and for overnight stay and stuff once we open fully back up. Currently, the station's closed to the public. We are working here at a lower density. We're encouraging our group to work from home as well. But the station is open and we're operational, and all our projects are ongoing, but we're not open to the public currently, and that we're operating at reduced density here in the building, but still operational. So thanks for bringing that up, Savannah. Other questions?
And just to let everyone know, when we do open up to the public again, we usually aim for Fridays, Friday evenings, from about 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So keep in mind that when we do open, you can keep up with us on our website and social media. We will let you know, and you will be able to come enjoy the station and learn a little bit more about what we have going on. So,
yeah. Emily does a lot of our volunteer coordination for the aquarium downstairs. So if anyone is interested in volunteering and talking about the science to the public that visits us, definitely get a hold of us online, and she can get you set up for that once we reopen. Other questions? All right. Well, we look forward to having everyone visit us when you can, and we look forward to the day of being open for business and allowing the public to come through the facility. Construction's about to begin upstairs, so we would be closed anyway for the next 6 months. So the timing to do this is actually really good, and I hope that when this is done in February or March, that things are more safe with the COVID issues, and we'll be able to open fully to the public. So. If no more questions, I think we're good. Thank you. Thanks everyone for your attendance today.
yes, thank you, everyone.